Long before glowing pumpkins lined doorsteps and children roamed the streets in disguise, there existed a night feared by kings, honored by priests, and whispered about in ancient villages. A night when the world of the living and the realm of spirits drew dangerously close. A night believed to dissolve the walls between time, death, and memory. This night would one day be called Halloween. But its origins lie far deeper than modern celebration. Halloween was born from humanity's oldest fear and greatest mystery: what happens when life fades and the dead return. To understand Halloween is to travel thousands of years into the past, to a world ruled not by calendars but by the sun, the harvest, and the unseen forces believed to govern reality itself. The true beginning of Halloween can be traced to the ancient Celtic world, over 2,000 years ago, in regions now known as Ireland, Scotland, and parts of Britain. For the Celts, the year was divided into two halves, the season of light and the season of darkness. The transition between these two worlds occurred on a sacred festival known as Samhain. Samhain marked the end of the harvest and the beginning of winter, a season associated with cold, death, and survival. Crops had been gathered, animals slaughtered, and communities prepared for the long darkness ahead. But Samhain was more than a seasonal marker. It was believed to be a liminal moment, a crack in reality itself, when the boundary between the human world and the other world weakened. Spirits of the dead were thought to walk freely among the living, while supernatural beings crossed unseen paths. Ancestors returned home, but so did darker entities. The Celts believed the otherworld was not a place of punishment, but a parallel realm filled with gods, spirits, and powerful beings beyond human comprehension. On Samhain night, this realm spilled into the mortal world. Some spirits were welcomed, the souls of loved ones invited back with food and drink placed outside homes. Others were feared, wandering entities believed to bring misfortune, illness, or death. To protect themselves, people disguised their appearance, wearing animal skins and carved masks to confuse or repel malicious spirits. Fires were extinguished and relit from sacred bonfires believed to carry protective power. These bonfires were not merely for warmth. They were ritual gateways, flames believed to cleanse, ward off evil, and honor ancient gods. This tradition would later evolve into the glowing jack-o'-lanterns still burning on Halloween night. Samhain was overseen by powerful deities associated with death, prophecy, and rebirth. Among them was the Dagda, a god of balance who controlled life and death, and Morrigan, a goddess of fate, war, and transformation. On this night, prophecies were spoken. Futures were glimpsed. The coming year was believed to be revealed through omens and visions. Divination rituals were common, using fire, bones, apples, and stones to foresee death, marriage, or survival through winter. Halloween's connection to fortune-telling, tarot, and supernatural insight finds its roots here, in a time when the future was believed to be visible only when the dead walked nearby. As the Roman Empire expanded, Celtic lands fell under Roman rule, and traditions began to merge. Two Roman festivals blended with Samhain over time. The first was Feralia, a day honoring the dead and ancestral spirits. The second was Pomona, a celebration dedicated to the goddess of fruit and harvest. Pomona's symbol was the apple, a fruit later woven into Halloween traditions through apple bobbing, a ritual originally tied to divination and fertility. Thus, Halloween became a fusion, Celtic fear, Roman remembrance, and agricultural symbolism blending into one night heavy with meaning. As Christianity spread across Europe, pagan festivals were not erased, they were reshaped. In the 8th century, the Church established All Saints' Day on November 1st, followed by All Souls' Day on November 2nd. These days honored saints and prayed for the dead. The night before All Saints' Day became known as All Hallows' Eve, a phrase that would eventually shorten into Halloween. Yet despite Christian rebranding, the ancient beliefs never fully vanished. The dead were still feared, spirits were still acknowledged, and the night remained associated with darkness, mystery, and wandering souls. Church bells replaced bonfires, prayers replaced offerings, but the essence of Samhain endured beneath religious symbolism. One of Halloween's most iconic symbols, the jack-o'-lantern, originates from Irish folklore. Legend spoke of Stingy Jack, a trickster who deceived both humans and the devil. When death came, Jack was denied entry to heaven and hell alike. Condemned to wander the earth, Jack carried a hollowed turnip lit by an ember from hellfire to guide his endless journey. People carved frightening faces into turnips and later pumpkins to ward off wandering spirits like Jack, a tradition meant to protect, not entertain. Each glowing face was a warning. The living were prepared. During medieval times, a practice known as souling emerged. Poor villagers would go door to door offering prayers for the dead in exchange for food called soul cakes. This exchange reflected an ancient belief that the living could ease the suffering of the dead. Over time, this evolved into children dressing as spirits, saints, or demons, visiting homes for treats. The modern phrase trick or treat carries echoes of older warnings: offer hospitality or risk mischief from spirits in disguise. Halloween arrived in America through Irish and Scottish immigrants fleeing famine and hardship in the 19th century. In the New World, ancient traditions transformed again. Turnips became pumpkins. Rural rituals became community celebrations. Fear slowly gave way to festivity. By the 20th century, Halloween had shifted from sacred night to social event, yet its symbols remained deeply rooted in ancient myth. Witches, ghosts, skeletons, and haunted nights were not inventions, they were memories. Today, Halloween is celebrated worldwide, but beneath the costumes and candy lies an ancient truth. Halloween represents humanity's attempt to understand death, confront fear, and coexist with the unknown. Masks once worn to deceive spirits are now worn for fun. Fires once lit for protection now glow for decoration. But the night remains the same. October 31st still carries the energy of transition, between seasons, between worlds, between what is seen and unseen.